U.S. turns 8 migrants over to South Sudan. The Trump administration has deported 8 men with serious criminal records from Asia and Latin America to South Sudan, ending a weeks-long legal battle that reached the Supreme Court twice, as reported by CBS News. The deportees, who were held at a U.S. military base in Djibouti while their case moved through the courts, arrived in the conflict-ridden African nation on July 4, 2025. Despite concerns from human rights advocates about their safety in a country where none except one originated. Legal battle and Supreme Court intervention. The deportation of 8 men to South Sudan followed a complex legal battle that reached the Supreme Court twice. Initially, U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy in Massachusetts blocked the deportations in April 2025, requiring the government to give detainees notice and an opportunity to contest their removal to third-party countries. This ruling thwarted several deportation efforts, including a plan to send detainees to Libya. After the men were transferred to Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti, the Supreme Court intervened in June, suspending Murphy's ruling and clarifying on July 3rd that Murphy could no longer require the government to allow the detainees to contest their deportation. Despite last-ditch legal efforts, including temporary stays by Judges Randolph Moss and Brian Murphy on July 4th, the deportations proceeded after both judges ultimately concluded the Supreme Court had tied their hands. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, issued a sharp dissent, criticizing the court's refusal to explain its reasoning and arguing that other litigants must follow the rules, but the administration has the Supreme Court on speed dial. 4. The Trump administration maintained throughout the legal process that South Sudanese officials had provided credible diplomatic assurances that the deportees would not face torture. Human rights concerns. Serious concerns about the deportees' safety emerged given South Sudan's volatile political situation, with the State Department maintaining a Level 4 do not travel advisory due to crime, kidnapping, and armed conflict. Judge Randolph Moss expressed grave concerns during emergency proceedings, stating it was almost self-evident that the United States government cannot take human beings and send them to circumstances where their physical well-being is at risk simply to punish them. Human rights advocates argued the deportations could violate constitutional protections against cruel and unusual punishment, especially since the men had already served their criminal sentences. Justice Sonia Sotomayor highlighted these concerns in her dissent, writing that the government wanted to send the non-citizens to South Sudan without regard for the likelihood that they will face torture or death. Attorneys for the migrants warned they could face imprisonment, torture, and even death upon arrival in a country where political tensions threatened to devolve into another civil war.